To check various clearances between components within an assembly, we can use the clearance verification tool. And this allows you to select out multiple components or faces and check the clearance between either the selected items or the selected items and the entire assembly. So this is currently set at some arbitrary value. If I were to, for example, set it at 0.1 inches, it'll show me any clearances that are smaller than 0.1 inches. And right now it's set to an option of make parts understudy transparent, so you can see through both parts. And for the uninvolved components, we have several options. We can have them in a wireframe. We can have them transparent as well, and maybe turn this option off so we can see the two colliding components or the two components that don't have enough clearance. But we can go ahead and leave this as the hidden option. It tends to work the best, allows you to see just the two components. If we're looking for a specific clearance, maybe we want to ignore certain ones, we can right-click out and ignore those out. We also have a button at the bottom to ignore a clearance. And we can also look at the component view instead of the clearance view. And we can show the ignored clearances. So I can also do this with selecting out components. If, for example, I want to see the clearance between several of these components and not the rest of the assembly, I can calculate that. And if we go back out of the component view, we can see each set of clearance issues. In this case, all of these parts are coincident to the housing, and that's indicated in the clearance. If we did have a gap, for example, and I'll go ahead and delete several of these out. For example, if we have a gap between the housing and those components, we can see that we don't have any issues at a distance of 0.01 inches. If I change this to 1 inch, for example, it'll give us how much clearance we have. It'll also show that dimension value next to the two components. So lastly, there are several other options in here. We can create a fasteners folder if we want to ignore fasteners. We can also ignore clearances that are equal to that specified value. So if we knew we needed a clearance of 1 inch and the value was 1 inch, it would ignore that clearance. And we can also treat sub-assemblies as components. But that's how you use the clearance verification tool. It can quickly show you where you may have various issues within your assembly.